Right, you alright? This is a bit different to what you'd normally have on here, podcast wise. It's not a here's how, it's not a deep dive. I'm not reading one of my books. There's a kind of a little advert within it. It's a thought of, a teacher telling you about something new I'm doing. But I thought you might actually enjoy it a minute. So I'm on Cameo now. So if those of you that don't know, Cameo is a service that allows people like you and me to go and hire, if you like. Not like go, hire to someone, I mean, as in like to hire with a H. Well, hire would still have an H when it's saying hello, but you can order a video from people off the internet, people off telly. Obviously, I'm a guy off the internet, so I thought, I'll do this. I tried, I entered for it, didn't get accepted, and then about 6 months, 7 months down the line, got a little email off Cameo inviting me to it, mate. So that was pretty nice. So now I'm on Cameo, and for about what works out at about £10 to you if you want one, which I'll get most of, not all of, but most of, depends on what device you pay on, whether you pay on an Apple device or an Android device or a computer, depends on what percentage of that money you pay that I get, which is mental, and you wouldn't think that would be how it works, but it does. Don't need to bore you with that though. You can have me ask you, say, happy birthday to your nan, hello to you, ramble at you, bit of advice, or I'll tell, one of your workers that you're firing them and you don't want out to do with them anymore. Or, stuff like that. Whatever, Bear in mind, I can always deny it if I don't want to do it, so don't worry, But I thought we'd start releasing them on here. So if you want to go and get one, it's cameo.com/worldaroundyou. Find it on there. You'll find it on my link tree. It'll be in the thing below. I might upload them as, like, videos as well to YouTube. You can watch the videos of these on my Cameo, of most of them. Some of them haven't appeared on there for whatever reason. I may edit them a little bit slightly, change the names and that of people, maybe. Might just, change the name, to Dave throughout. We'll have a little running joke of Tigbiddy Dave if it's a surname and a full name, or Dave if it's just the first name, probably. I might do that. I think I probably should, because some of these people being referenced haven't paid to be referenced in this. So, and it gives them a bit more anonymity to it as well. Although I guess it's not like that in the video versions, because the public, and they're allowed to be public. That's how it works. But if you want one, go to cameo.com/worldaroundyou, and we'll get into it, mate. So this first one here, this is a request for a guy called Kev. So obviously, fuck it, we're not changing the names. Maybe we will, but we don't. I don't think we need to, innit? It says I've been told the name. So it's going to be in the video anyway, so I think we're okay. Now, so I get a bit of, before it, I get a little paragraph, if you like, off the purchaser. So the purchaser is someone else in this one, that in particular, they call themselves the Dorsey Boys. So they've said, the question they get asked is, what does Kev need advice on? And they've said, so instead of phrasing it with a question, I'll just phrase the question within the answer. We'll learn as we go with these. This is quite a long preamble into this, but they'll be shorter, these introductions. I'll work on that for you. Kev needs advice because he needs to stop predicting the outcome of sporting events. Plus, he has an unhealthy obsession with crustaceans. Now, you can imagine I enjoyed that little sentence there, because I have an unhealthy obsession with crustaceans. I'm proper into shrimp. Plus, I'm quite paranoid about them and all. Jack can help because he's the only person who Kev respects. You're like Steve Irwin to him. He hangs on your every word. And something special that we'd like you to know about Kev is that he loves Kilmarnock Football Club. So that's all I've got to go off. And then I speak to him in a video. Now apparently, the average video on Cameo is about a minute long. Most of mine have been at least 4 minutes, I would say. Most of them around 6. This one, 4 minute 45. I hope you get a laugh out of it because they enjoyed it. This might not be fun to anybody but them, but we'll see. Here you go. Maybe we should have a jingle. Maybe we'll have one in the future. I can't think of one. Here you go. Got you a little message from the Dorsey Boys. Here's my little fox squeak for you. Now they've told me that you need to stop trying to, or stop predicting the sporting outcomes and that, mate. Now I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means you've got some form of gambling addiction, which is obviously a shit thing to have. But if it is an addiction, maybe you can't help it, mate. You know, maybe you're shit at predicting sporting outcomes, but the way he's worded it makes it seem like you're very good at it. So maybe you're just ruining the game for everyone around you. You know, whether it's a game of darts or snooker or maybe something a bit more intensive, tennis. Tennis has been on recently, and football. You know, if you're able to look at it, mate. If you're able to do that, mate, and you don't gamble, you're a fool. If that's the case, but fucking. They told me that you really like something called Kilmarnock Football Club as well. Now, I've never heard of them, but I do know a thing or two about crustaceans, mate, and I've got a bit of a thing for them myself. Like, look at this. There's a small crab in a necklace. Here's the Nancy crab in a block, right? But I've also got some of these, mate. These are scorpions, which I think are a crustacean of the land, aren't they, really? A scorpion. Maybe a cricket and a grasshopper to some extent as well. And if I had the patience, I'd find a dead grasshopper in here somewhere, because I've definitely probably got one. A train's about to try and ruin the recording for us, Kev. So I'm going to speak over the train, because bollocks to it. I don't have to do this twice, because I'm never going to remember the stuff I've already said, and the second time's never going to be as good. I don't know what else to say. They've told me that I'm apparently your Steve Irwin and you hang off of every word I say. And that's quite flattering, because Steve Irwin's a fucking legend, innit? But what you've got to remember, though, is Steve Irwin died doing what he loved, which was pissing off Komodo dragons and, you know, annoying snakes in deserts and that. And then he got killed by a stingray in the ocean, still doing what he loved, surrounded by his children though as well, which I suppose is a nice thing to think, you know, maybe I'll die with me kids that I don't have. Not that I had them taken off me or out like that, I've just not had any yet. But the idea of dying doing something I love, I mean, it's flattering, but it's still the idea of, I mean, the chemicals from doing taxidermy is probably going to give me some form of cancer at some point. So if I am going to die doing something I love, I'm going to die from this, or it's going to be something to do with maybe aliens and fighting aliens and that. Because I do like an alien and that, you know. Not in the sense of, you know, like, my missus are out like that. She's not from elsewhere, she's from here. But she's you know, she's not an alien. I'm not suggesting that. But maybe it'll be something to do with aliens or cancer. Maybe both. Maybe interacting with an alien might give me cancer. What's your obsession with crustaceans? Or obviously you can't answer me unless you buy another one of these. But the fucking... Like, I had a thing with them for a while, with shrimp. I just got obsessed with shrimp, mate. And what it actually meant was that my head had gone. And I was actually quite puddled at the time. And I just kept reading all about shrimp, mate, obsessing on shrimp, in the same way that I used to with chickens when I was younger. But I just got really obsessed with shrimp and that, and started reading about them. When I'd be having a break at work, like, you know, having a break here from chopping up rats and that, I'd just fucking sit and have a brew, and then get on eBay, mate, looking at who's selling shrimp, what shrimp are for sale, are they tiger shrimp, are they cherry shrimp, you know, just fucking really getting taken away with it. And then I bought some, mate. And they fucking died, mate, very quickly. They don't last, mate. Crustaceans don't last. And they're a fucking dodgy species anyway. Because think about krill, mate. Krill are everywhere. There's loads of krill. We're made to think that they're shrimp, but there could actually be phytoplankton as well that are krill. Tiny, tiny little molecule-looking shrimp things. Now, they could be trying to take over the world, because think about, like, the vril and krill and things like that, mate. There's always something with that sort of syllable who's like the enemies in sci-fi films and that, so that's something for you to think about. Anyway, I don't know if this is much in the way of advice. I'm hoping that what you're going to do is you're going to maybe leave the crustaceans alone and pack in the sporting event predictions. But this is my first one of these, mate. So I don't know if this is any good in advice, but I hope you've learnt something from it. Maybe you've learnt, you know, I don't want to be like that guy because I ain't got a clue what he's on about. But anyway, I'll fucking see you in a bit, Kev. So obviously, like I said there, that was my first one. They seemed to be happy with it. The person who paid for it was happy with it. You can actually watch the video of that one, I think, on TikTok already, maybe even on Instagram, maybe Facebook, maybe even on YouTube, I'm not sure, but I will be posting them to places. Here's another one. So this one is a bit different, and I probably won't include many like this, but this is more of a little advert for myself. This person, this one's for a guy called Mike, and they asked me if I could make it a funny video for their mate Mike. He loves the rat pencil case and Ratapult. Doesn't need to be very long, 30 seconds to a minute would be great. So I thought, alright, well, I'll try, because that's going to be a challenge to me to keep anything short and sweet in it. So I did. Now, this one, you might get a bit bored of this. It's more of a visual thing, this one, because bear in mind these are videos, but I thought I'd give you an example. But I'm not going to include ones that are like this really in the future, if they're short. And I'm going to try and just include the ones with a ramble to them, with a bit of something that you might actually find funny. But to listen to, this probably isn't that funny. But you might think to yourself, do you know who'd like that? Fucking Tigbity Dave would fucking love one of them. I'll get one of them for Dave, you know, or maybe even, you know, for David, you know, if you've got a bit of money. Anyway, here you go, there's the one that I did for Mike. Mike got a message for it. It says it's from Mitchellers, which is hard to pronounce. I don't know if that's like Mitcheller with an S and it's like Stephen Mitchell, which reminds me of one of the things on Fat Pete's Prince, that R.I.P. Stephen Midgley shirt they've got. But that's going to be very confusing to you. Apparently you're into me rat pencil cases. So this one's mine. I made this one last year. I keep this one. But the original one that I made like 6 years ago is gone. That went after I'd made it. But I've been making them for years, man. So you can see here, Mike. It's got that one. You know, they've all got a pencil sharpener up their arse. This is probably the sharpest pencil in the world, mate. It's been in that many different rats' arseholes. Should be a Guinness World Record, really. Apparently you like these as well, so I thought what we could try with the little Ratapult with the portable i5 machine. I'm going to try and fling the pencil at the camera and then snap all the graphite in the pencil, and it won't be the sharpest pencil anymore, it'll just be fucked. Oh, pretty piss poor, that one. There you go. Oh, I've lost the fucking thing. But that's gone. But I thought I'd show you a couple other bits as well. Apparently you like them. You might not have seen these though. These are my hairy danglers. So I take little bits of skin and bits of animal. This one's goat skin, baby chicken's beak and duckling. And this one's goat skin, rat skin and a baby chicken's beak. So I thought I'd just show you a little bit of something else as well. But you know, I'm glad you like my stuff, Mike. Now this next one's a fair bit longer. And weirdly it's for another Mike. I'm hoping it's for the same Mike. I'm hoping he just got inundated with them. So this one's a bit of a birthday message, and then you've got I imagine a ramble because it's fucking nearly 6 minutes long. So then we might call it a day after that, and I'll send you out some more in a week's time or 2 weeks' time or something. We'll have them out every couple of weeks or so. Unless I get quite a lot of orders for these coming in, and then it's more for yous, So but yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy this one. I honestly can't remember a word I say in any of these, but again, if there's anything in it that I think I need to sort of glaze over, name-wise or out like that, then I'll edit it a little bit, and I'll make it very obvious where the edit is. Don't worry. So it's gonna be fucking yeah. I hope you enjoy this. Again, if you want one, go to the Linktree link underneath, or the direct link to Cameo. Get yourself one. But you'll want to know what they asked me about, won't you? So what they asked me for this one is, it was his birthday. They're turning 49, and he said something special about Michael that we'd like you to know, Jack, is and they've just said, just go wild, show off your taxidermy, etc. Maybe you've talked to him before. His name is Tigbity Dave, so you may know what he'd like to hear over me. So that's really vague, mate. That means, fucking say whatever the fuck you want, mate. Go for it. So here you go. These are calling you Michael, but I think I've seen your username. Tigbity Dave. I'm not sure if you signed up to my Patreon. I'm not 100% sure. If you have, might have already seen this. If you haven't, you can always join up for free for 7 days. But you're going to get to see this, because apparently your birthday's tomorrow on the 28th, so you should see this then, hopefully. As long as Kieran's not hid this from you. But I thought I'd show you some of the new bits I've been making. As in, the sort of... I've rebranded the free meals, in essence. So these, I'm still going to start to do the free meals a bit more like this, rather than it just being a duckling with it that just sits on the desk. It just makes it look a bit nicer. I reckon I can charge a couple more quid as well, because it's on a bit of wood, Might appeal to a classier market, Still making the bobblehead ducklings, obviously they'll be on the website this week. But I've brought back the hairy danglers in a big way, mate. Look at these. Fucking tons of the cunts. There's all sorts. There's rat skin, goat skin, duckling skin, fake teeth, ducklings' arses, chickens' beaks. Then I've made another ball flicker. I might make some more of these today. I've not named him as of yet. But if you're watching this and it's gone past, say, 6 PM on your birthday, there's probably a name for him on the website and a little story with him. So if you want to go and have a look at that. I've made another duck head as well. Here's the new duck head, little old lady's face. Might make a couple more of those, I've not decided. But the new thing, mate, is this. Look at that, mate. It's a fucking decorative toilet brush. Like, now, I can't figure out if it should stand like this. I think it would also look quite smart as a lamp, but dangerous as a lamp, innit? So this is like a safer lamp. In essence, to a degree, it's like a safer lamp. But it's also quite a disgusting toilet brush. You could never use it as a toilet brush, but because you'd just wreck the duckling. And now I know they've got the saying like water off a duck's back and all that, but I still reckon if you get a bit of piss or a chunk of your shit in that duckling skin, you're going to know it's there for quite a while. It's going to take a while to not be able to smell that. And you're going to know it's there as well. But I like it because it's got that practical sense of if you've got a tough bit on there, you could scratch it away with the hoof. But it's also got that handle, so you can really fucking get in there like that, you know, properly like clean around and that, mate. It'd be fucking mint for it. But it's just not practical, unfortunately. It's a shame. I don't know if I'm going to make more. I may make more, I'm not sure. I can at least make one other, because I've got another day's leg. I've got some day feet somewhere knocking about in a bag somewhere, maybe in that box or above that box under there. You can't see that though. Like, oh, you can. In that green bag there is probably some more hoofs, but they're only short to about there, and I think that's no one. It'd be disgusting, wouldn't it, to have a toilet brush that ends about there. So you've really got to get your hand like right in the bowl. Nobody wants that. Then I'd have to start selling gloves and all, which could be a good shout. To be fair, it opens up my market a bit, doesn't it? Start getting into proper cleaning goods and that. But there's probably like other people selling gloves, and how do you make them interesting, you know? But this, I'm quite happy with this. I haven't got a name for it yet. I said before on the Patreon clip, I was thinking about making them originally just purely out of duckling and calling them toilet ducks. But it's a bit, it's a lot of duckling. It's a lot of duckling to make a toilet brush, realistically. Because if you like, imagine how many of these it would be. Like that, you could probably get to there on it, so it's like a full duckling. It's not, I don't know, I just don't think it'd be great, but they would look good as totem poles as well, wouldn't they? And then they have a big rat's head at the top rather than a toilet brush. But then it doesn't have to be a toilet brush, then it's just a weird totem pole made out of a deer's hoof. A new idea might stem from this, I'm not sure, but for now, it's just a toilet brush at the minute, inside of a deer's leg. Well, not all of a toilet brush, it's only about that much of a toilet brush. You know, a little trade secret there for you. You know, it's not a full toilet brush in there, it's actually stuffed with something else. You know, because I could use that bit of toilet brush for something else, you're thinking, but I can't, because I had to cut them out in little tiny chunks like this. I got to cut them out in little chunks like that because the Dremel. You see, this seems like a design flaw in my eyes. The Dremel's only got this sort of a gap here, this tiny little gap. So you've got to do everything in tiny little chunks, incremental steps, and it's annoying, but it's probably much safer as well. I burnt my finger with it the other day, but that seems to have healed over now, and it's not damaged my fingerprint either. Which is a shame. I've always thought it's cool, you know, them, like you get nutters, don't you, that melt off the finger skins, the fingerprint skins, and also them lads that work with pineapples and women that work with pineapples, not like a strictly male thing. But I quite like the idea of doing that, because it makes you seem like a mentalist, doesn't it? Fucking arrested and that, and they're like, oh, let's have a look at your fingerprints, and you're like, oh, it's a little weird, but I don't have any. And they're like, why? It's like, oh, because I melted it off with fucking super glue and bits flying off of a Dremel when I was stuffing rats when I was younger. And people would be like, you're full of shit, mate, you're obviously, you know, naughty. And I just think it'd be interesting, you know, and there's a story to tell in. At that time I melted my fingerprints away. But it's still there, you're poking through. It's a mad thing, isn't it, that they just keep coming back though. Just, I don't know, like even onions, man, even when you peel back onions, they've got layers, innit? But you peel them back and they all look different inside. It doesn't seem to be the same. But I suppose we'd never know if it was still the same, would we? We just presume it's still the same, because why would we know exactly what it looks like? Anyway, I feel like I've taken up enough of your time, mate. Fucking happy birthday. So what did you think of that one then? That's, again, quite a visual thing because of the videos. But, you know, some of them have got a good ramble in. You might find them funny, I don't know. But maybe that'll do, I think, for this week. So stick around for the end of this. Listen to the advert on the end, because it earns me a couple fractions of a penny. If you're going to leave a rating on the show and all, maybe don't base it on this one. This is like a pilot, you know, unless you really enjoyed it, then base it on this one. But, you know, have a listen to some of the others if this is your first. None of the other episodes are really like this. There's a few different styles of episode. I don't know why I'm imagining fucking after like 650 episodes you're suddenly thinking, oh, I'm going to listen to this one here. But if for whatever reason this has sold a Cameo video to you, Go and order yourself one, mate. And if you want to hear more rambles, mate, less directed at, showing things, if it's just you want a little audio journey with me taking you on a little ramble and a rant, and stuff, things like that, join me Patreon, mate, patreon.com/worldaroundyou. Give that a go. There's fucking loads on there. Over 200 bonus episodes. When this is going out today, there's at least 200 bonus episodes. So if you're listening to this in a couple of weeks' time, there'll be at least 204 bonus episodes. There'll be more anyway. Video episodes for all the shows, all sorts of stuff. It's a little bit of support, it keeps the show going. It pays for the hosting and that, because I don't really make that much through advertisements on these yet. But also, you get more stuff in it. So if you want a bit more of me, go and fucking sign up to the Patreon. And also, listen to this little advert here if it plays. Fucking, I'll see you in a bit, mate.